Welcome to my craft table. Hi guys, this is Jamie Magridge. Welcome to my craft table. Today I'd like to show you how to make this card. It's really a simple card, and let's get started. What we're going to need is a piece of scratch paper, a paper bow, and the video that I'm going to post just before this will show you how to make this bow. I have a piece of gorgeous grape, which is 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. I have a piece of Whisper White, which is 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. And then I have a card base, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4. I'll put the card base aside because we're not doing any stamping on it at all. The stamp sets we're going to be using is Botanical Bliss. We're going to be using this bird. We're going to be using these sprigs, but I've cut them in half. In the original card that I did, I used, what is it called? I've lost track of it here. Let's start again. Alright, sorry about that. In the original card, I used this sprig from Rooted in Nature, and then I used this sentiment here from Darling Label Punch Box. And I'm going to try this time to do it using just one stamp set to make it a little bit easier. Well, I'm still using 2 because I need to use this doily from On My Mind and Paper Pumpkin. But I didn't want to be using 4 different stamp sets. I'm just trying to eliminate however many I could. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to push this paper aside. We're going to bring our scrap paper in. And we're going to bring in our Memento black ink. And I'm going to take the Best Wishes. I'm going to stamp that. And I'm going to take my leaves. See how I've cut them apart? You can put them back together if you want them to stamp the original way. But I needed them to be more like this. Okay, so I'm going to take them and ink it up, and I'm going to stamp, and then I'm going to stamp again without picking it up. Stamp, stamp again, stamp, stamp again. I want to fill in the whole bottom. It's going to be cut out with the punch, so that's pretty good. Actually, this one came in from the side, but this will work. Okay, and then we're going to bring in the Darling Label Punch. We're going to center it up in there so that the Best Wishes is centered. And we're going to punch it. Okay, then I'm going to bring in Sponge Dauber and Gorgeous Grape. Close this for a second. Oh, I just got ink all over me. Okay, and I'm going to ink the edges. And I'm just going to flick it on like this around the edge. It's alright if it goes inside a little bit. You want the edge a little bit darker. Okay, that's our sentiment piece. And turn it over. We can put a couple dimensionals on the back of it. We want to put them on this edges. Oops. I'm going to put 4. Oops, I don't want it hanging off. I want to make sure that flat edge is against the flat edge so that we don't see dimensional. I do still anyway. Let's try that again. There we go. One more. We don't probably need this many, just 2 would probably be plenty, but Okay, and we're going to place that aside. Alright, and we're done with the purple ink altogether. Okay, now we're going to bring in this strip. And on the bottom, this has a little ink there, so, oh, it's just dust, okay. Alright, so we're going to bring in the medallion, and we're going to bring in the pumpkin pie ink. Ink it up really well. I'm going to stamp it down here in this bottom section. It's about 1/2 inch from the bottom. Awesome. And then I'm going to bring in the little crow and the memento. And I've just trimmed the bottom of my stamp so I can see where its feet are, because I was having trouble with that. And I'm going to stamp that so it's sitting on the top of this orange shape, so it kind of represents a pumpkin. Awesome. Okay, now I'm going to bring back in those leaves. I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. I'm going to stamp some leaves down here at the bottom. I think one more over here. Okay. And that's all of the stamping, so we can put the ink away. And we can assemble our card. Okay, so we're going to bring in our card base. And our adhesive. I'm going to put glue on the back of this. Okay, and there's going to be about 1/8 inch border all the way around. Center that up from side to side, top to bottom, spelled the same. Now we're going to bring in our purple, our gorgeous grape piece. I'm going to put that right up next to this one. Straight up and down. Now we're going to take our bow that we made, and we're going to put that right over that seam there, all the way from the top to the bottom of the card. There's going to be a little bit of overlap we're going to need to trim off, and our snips. Okay, then we're going to bring in our sentiment. Where did we put it? There it is. Take those backings off. And we're going to straddle that ribbon down here at the bottom. Figure out what would be best. I think right there. Okay, and stick it down. And there is our card for today. There's the one we just made. Here's the one I made previously. Well, thank you for joining me at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day.